trick or treat. Portsmouth cannot be beat. What's going to happen in the League One this week? Well, stand by because my predictions are coming at you right about now. Today we're taking a look at match number 16, I believe, over in League One, and we'll get to that in just one second. If you're new, where you been, smash your subscribe button, bang with it. All things League One related, Blackburn Rovers related, world football related. We got all here, boys, under one roof ski. Of course, Portsmouth remain tip at the top of the table, but of course, Oxford's spot in the automatics is under threat. That's right, Barnsley making a real serious push, as are Bolton, in a very, very tight League One campaign. Of course, it could all change dramatically this weekend with what we're looking at. 1, 2, 3 sides potentially, well, actually 4 sides competing for the other automatic spot. We'll take a look at all of it in a second. Of course, big shout out to my VIPs, and of course, your one-stop shop here for League One continues. Make sure you like this video, of course, for the YouTube algorithm, making it work for you guys. Of course, liking this video gets you other League One content, also gets you other prediction shows, also gets you other videos from this channel as well. And subscribe. A whopping 78% of you are unsubscribed, so we want to get those numbers changed and, of course, more favorable for the channel. And again, once again, big shout out to the VIPs. You know who you are. We're talking about the Patreons, of course. If you want to help out the channel, check out the links down below. So let's get into it then, of course, on the Spooky Spectacular. Spooky Spectacular, Jordan Rhodes, the second coming, is right here. He's scoring for fun. 3-2 winners over Cheltenham. Out with a 2-0 win myself. Bristol Rovers with the draw against Stevenage, 1-1 in the end. Meanwhile, Pompey could only muster a draw, though, against Cambridge. They were, you know, I'm not changing my intro. They cannot be beat. They just didn't win. 0-0 in the end. Out with a 2-0 win myself. Carlisle with a 2-1 win over Burton. Of course, Burton were flying high. Take an L on this one. Carlisle with a draw. Derby with a 2-0 win over Exeter. Got that one spot on. Barnsley with a 3-0 win over Shrewsbury. I went with a 3-1 win myself. Lincoln City beat Charlton 3-1. Good one there. Of course, a change of manager as well. Northampton Town with a draw against Leyton Orient 2-2. I went with a draw myself. Peterborough with a 1-0 win over Port Vale. I went with a draw. Wigan with a 2-0 win over Oxford. That's a surprise one right there. 2-1 win for me the other way. And of course, the Battle of the Wanderers ended up with Bolton 4-2 winners over Wycombe. And then Fleetwood, big win for them over Reading, who are in serious bother, of course. So, is there any point in me counting up my picks here? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've got 5. 5 is pretty miserable. And again, got a bit of grim news, guys. Of course, if you don't see your name in here, then your predictions were late. And again, I'm not calling you out right now. Anyway, I'm not calling. I might call you out in the future if your lateness continues. But these are the scores that were legit, that were on time. Of course, it cannot take you off time. Even if you say, "Oh, I'm late. I didn't look at the score lines." You know, tough shit. I'm not because it's not fair. It's not fair. So, because I can't, but I'm not gonna just cover my eyes and just and maybe somebody's been doing it or people have been doing it for weeks. I don't know, but this week was glaringly obvious. So, if you're gonna be late, then make sure your scores aren't too fantastic, if you know what I mean. Anyway, that's that. 5 got me squat. This is, of course, the overall leaderboard. And, of course, Blue Jack Plays still tops the pots with 61 points right now. Hussein in second and Russell Frost in third in the table, of course. So, let's get into it. This is the table right now, the legit table. Portsmouth top of the charts, 4 points clear over Oxford, who's just 2 points clear over Barnsley and Bolton. And then Peterborough could actually get in the mix themselves with, of course, a decent goal difference. A bit of a swing would need on that one. Meanwhile, Carlisle, Fleetwood, Reading and Cheltenham going down on this. But realistically, it's actually Cheltenham, Reading, Fleetwood and Wigan at that moment. So Reading, Wigan are in trouble. Reading in serious trouble right now. Wigan within a region of getting out of it. So let's see how they get on right now. So here, of course, that was the link. If you want to get involved in the prediction league, free to open, get in there, get your picks in. Of course, these are the next games, and there's some bangers in here as well as we look forward to some spooky, spectacular stuff. And of course, my pick of the day, probably this could be the top one here. Blackpool, Peterborough, Reading, Portsmouth could be a good one, but I think Reading are being that dog shit. But anyway, let's get cracking with, of course, the first one, which is one of my tips at the top of the tables. It's Blackpool, it's Peterborough, and it's, of course, at Bloomfield Road. Played 23 times in 2002, 12 wins to Blackpool, 8 wins to Peterborough. We've got 3 draws, of course. Biggest win for the Tangerines, 4-1 wins, scoring 34 goals in 23 matches. 34 goals, 23. That's 1.48 goals a game. Posh, 5-0 win, their biggest. 32 goals scored in 23 matches, 1.39 goals a game. Posh are in 5th right now, 25 points on the board, unbeaten in the last 5. 67% form for them right now. Up against Blackpool, they're 6th with 23 points on the board. They are also on 67% form for them heading into this. Last time round, they're over at Bloomfield Rovers, 3-1 win for Blackpool back in December 2021. That was in the Championship. Meanwhile, the odds here, we have 5-4 is your Blackpool, 11-5 is your Peterborough, and 12-5 is your draw. This could really go either way. Blackpool are been good and been scoring goals, and that's why I'm backing them here. 2-1 win for them. Back to Jordan Rhodes. He's been red hot to church. Of course, Bristol Rovers up against Northampton Town. Of course, coming at you over in Bristol. Played each other 27 times since 2003. Got 13 wins for Bristol Rovers, 7 wins for Northampton, and 7 draws. Biggest win for the hosts. 6-0 wins, scoring 41 goals in 27 matches, 1.52 goals a game. Northampton, their biggest win, just a 4-0 win, scoring 27 goals in 27 matches. You could do the math on that one. Meanwhile, Northampton Town without a win in 3. 42% form for them right now. 19th for the table with 14 points on the board. Up against Bristol Rovers, 1 win in 5. 40% form for them right now as well. 16th for the table, and of course 16 points on the board right now. Last time round, they're over in Bristol, was a 2-1 win for Bristol Rovers back in November 2021. They were unbeaten against Northampton over the last 6, picking up 4 wins and a couple of draws. But the odds for this one, we have Bristol Rovers even Stevens to the victory, 12-5 is the draw, 14-5 is your away win. We are back in Bristol Rovers to get the W here. 2-0 win for them. I did have early considerations for them to make the playoffs, but right now they're just not doing it for me. Burton Albion, again, a team I tip for the drop, are doing okay. A bit of a bump of the road last round, taking on Leyton Orient. Play each other never, these two sides, according to my data. Burton, of course, coming to on 75% form for them right now, just 1 defeat past 6, 11th in the table with 19 points on the board. Up against Leyton Orient, just a 1 defeat past 6, also 67% form for them right now, 12th in the table, both sides in on 19 points. Last time around, Burton with that 2-1 loss against Carlisle. Of course, Leyton Orient 2-2 draw with Northampton Town on the road. So back-to-back away games here for Leyton Orient. 13-8 is your Burton, 7-4 is your Orient, 11-5 is your draw. And I do expect another tight one here. Going to go with a draw again. I think probably more favourable for Leyton Orient on the road. Continue with their unbeaten run. Of course, Burton getting back to not losing. Of course, they want to continue there, get the momentum going once again, and maybe even make a serious push for the top 6. Cambridge United against Carlisle in the Battle of the Seas. That's right, coming at you over at Cambridge. Played each other 18 times, 2002. We got 7 wins for Cambridge, 3 wins Carlisle, and 8 draws. Of course, biggest win for Cambridge, 5-0 wins, scoring 31 goals in 18 matches, 1.72 goals a game. Up against Carlisle, their biggest win, 2-1 wins, scoring 19 goals in 18 matches, 1.06 goals a game. Just what we're looking at here. 3 defeats in the last 6 for Carlisle, 42% form for them right now, 20th in the table, and 14 points on the board. Up against Cambridge, 17% form for them right now, winless in the last 10, 17th in the table, and 16 points on the board. Last time around in Cambridge, 3-0 winner was for Cambridge, who did the double over Carlisle last time that these two sides were in the same division. That was back in League 2. Of course, the odds here, Cambridge 11-8 for the victory, 9-4 is a draw, 21-10 is your win. I'm going with Cambridge here. They got to win sometime. Of course, 10 games on without a win. Carlisle are struggling. I would actually prefer a win for Carlisle, if I'm going to be honest with you. But I can't see it. I think Cambridge will get their win, get back to at least get some decent results, and maybe get a bit of stability with the club. Charlton up against Bolton, of course, over at the Vale. Played each other 36 times in 1993. We got 9 wins for Charlton, 15 wins for Bolton, 12 draws, of course. Biggest win for Charlton, also 3-0 wins, scoring 45 goals in 36 matches, 1.25 goals a game. Up against Bolton, their biggest win, 5-1 win, scoring 60 goals in 36 matches, 1.67 goals a game. 5 wins on the last 6 for Bolton, 83% form for them right now, 4th in the table, and 26 points on the board. Up against Charlton, 1 defeat the last 6, 67% form for them right now, 13th in the table, and 18 points on the board. Last round over at the Valley, it was a 2-1 win for Bolton back in January 2023. Bolton won 4 in the bounce against Charlton, of course. And of course, the odds here, 29-20 is your host, 50-8 is your Bolton, 23-10 is your draw. I think if Bolton win this one, they are serious contenders for playoffs, if not more than that. But I'm going with Charlton and Appleton. I think they're a bit more difficult to beat. So I'm backing Charlton to go the way. Exeter City up against Lincoln City, of course, over in Exeter. Played it 11 times in 2003. 6 wins for Exeter, 2 wins for Lincoln, and 3 draws, of course. Exeter, biggest win for them, 3-1 wins, scoring 15 goals in 11 games, 1.36 goals a game. Lincoln, biggest win, also 3-0 wins, scored 11 goals in 11 matches. That's a goal a game as well. Lincoln, 4 wins the last 6, 67% form for them right now, 9th at the table, and 21 points on the board. Exeter, without a 6 games losing streak right now, so Caldwell is on the money, he's on the hot button here, could be out. 18th for the table and 16 points on the board right now. Last round in Exeter was a 2-1 win for Exeter back in March 2023. The odds here, we have Exeter 13-10 for the victory, 21-10 is your Lincoln, 23-10 is the draw. It does smell like a draw here. I'm going with it because Exeter have been shanked, Lincoln have been okay, new manager as well, so The managers are dropping a little bit like flies in the EFL a little bit, and Exeter's one could be next on the chopping block. Barnsley up against Fleetwood Town. Come at you at Oakwell. Barnsley making a push for top 2 right now. Played to the 10 times 2014. 6 wins for Barnsley, 2 for Fleetwood, and 2 draws, of course. Biggest win for Barnsley, 4-2 win, scoring 19 goals in 10 matches, 1.90 goals a game. Up against Fleetwood, their biggest win, of course, 1-0 win, scoring 11 goals in 10 matches, 1.10 goals a game. 3 wins, 3 defeats the last 6 for Lee Johnson's boys. 50% form for them right now. 22nd in the table, 11 points on the board. Up against Barnsley, just the 1 defeat the past 6, 75% form for them. 3rd in the table and 26 points on the board right now. Last round over in Oakwell, 2-1 win it was for Barnsley back in December 2022. But the odds here, Barnsley 5-4 on for the victory, 3-1 is your draw, 60-5 is your Fleetwood here. We are going with Barnsley. They've been red hot, and I'm going comfortably so. 3-0 win for them to get themselves within touching distance, if not in the top 2. Meanwhile, Reading up against Portsmouth coming at you at the Matchday. Reading staring at back-to-back relegations at the moment, with Celes still with the helm, another man who could be out on his ear very soon. Against Pompey, played to the 19 times in 1994. We got 4 wins for Reading, 8 wins for Portsmouth, and 7 draws, of course. Biggest win for Reading, 2-0 wins, scoring 14 goals in those 19 matches, 0.74 goals a game. Up against Portsmouth, their biggest win, 7-4 wins, scoring 22 goals in 19 matches, 1.16 goals a game. Pompey, top of the table with 32 points on the board, 92% form for them right now, and beaten in the last 10 matches, and they haven't lost any of the last 7 away matches either. Meanwhile, Reading, just 1 win in 6, 25% form for them right now, 23rd with 6 points on the table right now. Last round over at the Matchday was a 1-0 win for Reading back in March 2012, guys. It's been a long time. That was back in the Championship. But the odds right here right now, Reading are 30-5 for the victory, 21-20 is your Pompey, and 12-5 is the draw. We are going 2-0 win for Pompey. Reading also potentially going to sack their coach, I feel. Meanwhile, Stevenage up against Derby County. Another zinger this one. Coming at you over in Stevenage. Played each other just the one time. In 2022, it was a win for Stevenage. It was a 1-0 win, of course. Meanwhile, Stevenage just 1 win in the last 6, 33% form for them right now. They are 7th, hanging on in there with 23 points on the board. Up against Derby, with 67% form right now. Just 1 defeat of the last 6. They are 8th. 2 points separate these two sides in the league at the moment. That one and only win was a friendly. It was a 1-0 win for Stevenage back in July 2022. Stevenage on the back of a 1-1 draw. In fact, back-to-back draws against Port Vale and Bristol Rovers. Derby with a 2-0 win over Exeter. But the odds for this one, we're looking at Stevenage 6-4 for the victory, 23-10 is the draw, 9-5 is your Derby County. Another tight one. Going goals galore here, 2-2. Going with a draw though, as I cannot separate two sides at the moment. Meanwhile, Oxford United up against Wigan. Wycombe. There we go. Get it right on this spooky spectacular. Play each other 24 times. 2004, we got 8 wins for Oxford, 9 for Wycombe, and 7 draws, of course. Biggest win for Oxford, 3-0 win, scoring 30 goals in 24 matches, 1.25 goals a game. Up against Wycombe, 2-0 win, their biggest, 28 goals scored in 24 matches, 1.17 goals a game. They're on 58% form, the visitors right now, just 3 wins the last 6, 10 for the table, and 20 points on the board. Up against Oxford, 75% form for them right now, back-to-back games without a win, but they are 2nd and 28 points on the board right now. Last round over at the Kazam, it was a 1-0 win for Wycombe, who haven't conceded a goal against Oxford in the last 4. Goodness gracious me, they've won 3 on the spin as well. But the odds right here right now, we've got Oxford 2017 on for the victory, 12-5 is a draw, 10-3 is of course your away win. And we're back in Oxford to change that narrative with the consistent wins from Wycombe. So big win for Oxford, maintaining the top 2 for the time being. Meanwhile, Port Vale up against Cheltenham. We've been scoring goals of late, trying to get back to some form of consistency. Played 25 times since 2002. In fact, actually, Darryl Clark, former Portsmouth Port Vale manager, correct me if I'm wrong. Played 25 times these two sides. 7 wins for Port Vale, 8 for Cheltenham, 10 draws, of course. Biggest win for Port Vale, a 3-0 win. Scored 30 goals in 25 matches, 1.20 goals a game. Up against Cheltenham, 5-1 win, their biggest. 31 goals scored in 25 matches, 1.24 goals a game. 25% form for Cheltenham at the moment. They are 24th with 5 points on the board. Up against Port Vale, 1-1 lost 1, drawn 1 over the last 3. 25% form for them over the last 6. They are 14th for the table with 18 points on the board. Up against, last round at Port Vale was a 2-2 draw back in September 2022. Cheltenham unbeaten against Port Vale over the last 3. Yes, 1-1 and drawn 2. But the odds here, we have 10-7 on is your Port Vale. They're red hot. 13-5 is draw. 17-4 is your Cheltenham. Going with Port Vale with a 1-0 win. But that factor of I believe, Cheltenham's coach being a former Port Vale coach might have a bit of bearing on this game. So bear that in mind. Wigan up against Shrewsbury Town. It's the Elliot Bennett vengeance match. Of course, Elliot Bennett on Shrewsbury up against Wigan. Of course, former rival when he was in Blackburn Rovers days. I don't create these derbies, but I'm standing by it. Anyway, played each other 9 times 2015, 6 for Wigan, 1 for Shrewsbury, 2 draws. Of course, biggest win for Wigan, 5-1 win, scoring 16 goals in 9 matches, 1.78 goals a game. Shrewsbury with their biggest win, 1-0 win, scoring 5 goals in those 9 matches, 0.56 goals a game. Shrewsbury, 50% form for them right now, 1-2 lost 2 and drawn 2 over the last 6, 15 for the table and 17 points on the board. Up against Wigan, 3 wins on the bounce, 50% form form for them right now, but they are 21st with 11 points on the board right now. Last round in Wigan was a 2-1 win for Wigan back in December 2021. But the odds here, Wigan are 23-20 for the victory, 12-5 is your Shrewsbury, 23-10 is the draw. Despite Bennett being on board the Shrewsbury, I don't know if he's playing or what, but they're going to lose this game anyway. 2-1 win for Wigan to maybe get themselves officially out the drop zone. That's, of course, my picks for the Spooky Spectacular. Make sure you get your picks in as well. And, of course, this is what the table will look like, of course, something like this anyway. Pompey remain top of the table with Oxford, of course. Barnsley keeping up the heat with Bolton taking a bit of a slump as well. Blackpool and then Peterborough going down. Who knows? But anyway, that's, of course, my pick. Don't forget to like the video. Of course, make the YouTube algorithm work for you guys. And also subscribe, of course. A whopping 78% of you are not subscribed. We want to get those numbers a bit more favorable for the channel. So do us a favor and do that while you're here. It costs you nothing. But until then, guys, I'm going to let you go. Subscribe. Until then, I'll see you soon for the next one.